Why do you insist on being called Muhammad Ali now?
That's the name given to me by my leading teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's my original name. That's a black man name. Cassius Clay was my slave name. I'm no longer a slave.
What does it mean?
Muhammad means worthy of all praises, and Ali means most high.
Do you intend to fight under that name?
Yes, sir. I want to be called by that name. I write autographs with that name. I want to be known all over the world as that name.
I converted to Islam about 14, 15 years ago. See, my parents were missionaries, or evangelical missionaries, so I was raised with the Bible between my teeth. But when I fell in love with Islam, I know the Quran better than many imams because I read it and I studied it very, very deeply.
What was the first moment where you said, I really like this religion?
Well, it was 1/3 of the way through the Quran. I had this feeling that welled up from inside and hit my head, and it was a tingling sensation, and I said, holy crap, I'm a Muslim. Yeah, that was basically the revelation.
I had devised a plan, create my own IED, homemade bomb, and I was going to set it off right outside the Muncie Islamic Center. 200 plus killed or injured. That was the plan. They were road dogs. I know, I saw it in her eyes. I made her question that love. And that's when the light bulb came on. I decided to give the people of this community one more chance. So I went to the Islamic Center, see a gentleman in the shoe room taking off his shoes. He looks at me and he smiles. He said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I want you to teach me about Islam. So he went and he gave me a Quran. Read this. Come back when you have questions. This was a kind of awakening. Long story short, 8 weeks after that first day I stepped into the Islamic Center, I became a Muslim.
We were doing criminal stuff, we were intoxicated by drugs and alcohol, and they started talking about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what caught my attention, I mean, my radar came up as soon as they mentioned Isa Islam, Jesus Christ, the Messiah. Because as you know, as a Roman Catholic, he was our king, our God, our everything, you know. When they started talking about him, I said, what do you know about Jesus Christ? You know, like, what do you mean? He's one of our beloved prophets. I said, excuse me? So the more they spoke, I kid you not, I'm like a kid like this, listening to my favorite show. I couldn't get away from it. I was so impressed and so convinced that Islam is the true religion. This was such on a high level of purity, of beauty, of understanding. I felt so free. I know now that Allah was bringing that peace into my heart.
Just happy to be, accepting Islam and finding the peace of mind that I was always searching for in the music business. And it was very difficult to find this place in my life now, but thanks to Islam, I've been able to, complete my search. And
that the Quran invites you to think. It keeps on saying, it keeps on inviting the person to look at the signs throughout the heavens and the earth and think about them deeply and profoundly. And in these things are signs for those who are wise, those who have the ability to understand. So it's a book that itself invites you to think. And although I was and still am quite a fast reader, 2 weeks later, I was still reading this book. And I remember the moment very, very distinctly as I was sitting on the train, going over the Thames, commuting on my way to work, reading this translation of the Quran. I looked out of the window and I looked back again and I said to myself, if I have ever read a book that is from God, this is the one. And I think really, I guess that's the moment, that was my epiphany, that was the moment when in reality I embraced Islam. And my further studies, when I read a life history of the Prophet Muhammad, I was even more convinced. I was sure that this man was a prophet of God.
Look at the way I was brought up. I was the only one, when I practiced Islam, to have abided by the Sunnah. And my mother, my family boycotted me. The Friday lunch, do not come, because your wife covers. And your sister-in-laws don't cover. We all eat on one table. So my mother told me, do not come on Friday. My brothers would not visit me because I have to segregate their wives from my wife. He's wearing hijab. But subhanallah, It only lasted for 1 or 2 weeks. After that, I get a phone call from my mom. She said, "Khalas, come. We will segregate." And subhanallah, from that time, wallahi, it is Allah's work. My mother became more religious than all of us. Fasting Mondays and Thursdays and fasting 3 white days, giving charity, took the television set and threw it out, took the radio and threw it out. Nothing un-Islamic. No one backbites in her presence. She's over 82. May Allah give her long life and a good ending on with shahada.